This is the video for Unit 7, Day 6, and it's another interim review for the test tomorrow, and this one's on ratios and percents. This is something we covered way back in Unit 4, so this is just a video as a little reminder of how to solve these kinds of problems. So let's look at our first example here. 20% of some number is 10. And the way that we can solve this is with equivalent ratios. So remember, a percent is always out of 100. And 20% is the same thing as 20 out of 100. And 20% is equal to sum total. This is what we're trying to figure out, the total amount. And we know that the 20% of this total is 10. So 10 out of, right, sum total is equal to 20%, or equal to 20 out of 100. That's how we can set this up. And then I can look between my two numerators, and they're going to have the same relationship as the two denominators. And what I mean by that is the same number that you can multiply or divide across the numerators, you can also multiply or divide across the denominators. So I look between 20 and 10. How are those related? Well, I know that 20 divided by 2 is 10, or 10 times 2 is 20. So you can do it either way. I like going this way. It's a little bit easier. So 20 divided by 2 gives me 10. And if that's the relationship for the numerators, it's going to be the same for the denominators. So 100 divided by 2 is 50. So 20% of 50 is 10. Or 10 out of 50 is the same thing as 20%. Let's look at the example on the right now. And before we start that example, this video is dedicated to Julie Beth in 6B. Hola, Julie Beth. 90% of some number is 36. So we'll set up our equivalent ratios again. 90% is the same thing as 90 out of 100. And it's equal to 36 out of sum total. And we're trying to figure out 36 out of what number is the same thing as 90%. So I look between my two numerators, 90 and 36. So in this case, it gets a little tricky because I can't easily divide 90 by some number to get to 36, or I can't easily multiply 36 by some number to get to 90. So what I have to do is I have to start simplifying this fraction right here to a lower term. In this case, I can divide both 90 and 100 by 10. So I can change this, I'm going to use a different color here, to 9 over 10. Right, because I divided 90 by 10 to get 9, 100 by 10 to get 9. 10 divided by 10 to get 10. So 9/10 is equal to 36 over some number. And now, when I look between, after simplifying this fraction here, I look between the two numerators, 9 and 36. Now I can actually do that. 9 times 4 gives me 36. And then on the bottom, 10 also times 4 gives me 40. So 90% of 40 is 36. With that, you should be able to solve the rest of this page. I'll get you started on number 1, and you can finish it on your own. 80%, right? That's 80 out of 100, and that equals 80% of blank, so we're trying to figure out what the total is 20. Right? From here, I'll leave that for you to finish. When you are done with page 3, so first what you're going to do is finish page 3. And then as a whole class, we are going to move on, and then we're going to watch the video for page 4. So keep the computer at your desk, and good luck.